So they're underway. The split start in the Birdwhistell at 3,000 metres. The contenders, Stapleton, Birdwhistell, Coxon, Matthews, Declan Wilson from Victoria, Jack Stapleton, New South Wales, Riley Shaw, the ACT, Thompson, Victoria, McAfee of Queensland, Joe Hardy. We saw him win a gold medal in the steeplechase at the All Schools in Tasmania. James Hanson, Tasmania, Hugh Nicholson of Tasmania, Lawrence Sarache at the back of the field. We see Stuart McSween being clipped from Victoria. Jack Davies, Victoria, Tim Stewart of New Zealand, Jacob Birdwhistell, Wimmershut Murphy of South Australia, Jack Curran of Queensland, Stu McSween, Victoria, Matthew Beer, the national under 18 1500 metre champion, the junior champion. Sharp Miller, the West Australian, Cameron Gatt, Victoria, Jack Bruce, Queensland, Luke Matthews, we mentioned before, the All Schools champion over 3,000 metres, Guy Walters and Zach Patterson round out the field. We saw Zach's brother earlier this evening claim that under 1500 metres. But what a field we have assembled. The race record was held just by Ryan Gregson. The national record, in fact, by Gregson, 7:57.45. Gregson is a past winner of the Birdwhistell 3,000 metres. So it is Jacob Birdwhistell of the Tasmanian that will lead them through with 6 laps remaining. Declan Wilson, the Victorian, into second place. Not too far away was Luke Matthews, the Victorian, who we saw perform so admirably, winning the 1,500 metre, 3,000 metre double at the Australian All Schools Championships. Yeah, well placed. Also Jack Stapleton of New South Wales, it would appear. But Birdwhistell, gold over 1,500 metres at the Australian Junior Championships, and indeed the 3,000 metres in the under 18 age group. And he will definitely be our race favourite as we lead in. James Nippers, who we saw contest the steeple earlier this evening, has been one of the many few that have contested this race. It is really the breeding ground for future Zatopek 10 champions. Morgan McDonald of New South Wales has moved up into 4th place behind Luke Matthews, and Jake Stapleton round out that leading group of 5 on the track, Tim. But we've seen early, there's a little bit of carnage at the back of the field. We've had a fall, we've had some elbows, but that's track racing in big bunches like this.
There was a bit of Mary Decker and Zola Budd about that first run down the back straight with a fall. Stuart McSween coming to grief. What a spectacular sight they've made. 24 of them in this event. Don't often see so many in a domestic track race. And still a good half of them in contention. But it has been Jacob Birdwhistell setting the agenda, setting the pace. Declan Wilson's thereabouts, Luke Matthews too, and Jack Stapleton. But still, the pack at the front is at least a dozen strong as they come down with 4 laps to go. And it continues to be Birdwhistell, Wilson and Matthews, 1, 2, 3. And it's been that way for most of the journey so far.
And joining them up in that leading group of 3, Zach Patterson in the Knox Athletics colours. You'll see him in the green, grey and blue. It was his brother, we mentioned earlier, that was so emphatically won that under 1,500 metres. And could it be just a little bit of family success here on the Zatopek night? One brother already with a victory, and the other sitting in 5th place and in very strong contention to take out one of the most prized trophies in junior athletics in Australia, indeed the Birdwhistell 3,000 metres. But Jacob Birdwhistell, he was 5th in this event last year in a race that went right down to the wire, taken out by Jordan Williams in what was a sprint finish. Williams now residing over in the US collegiate system at Villanova, and Birdwhistell returns to the track here to continue his chase for the De Castella crown. 3 laps remaining, and the field continues to splinter and fracture. The leading group of 5 may be just starting to stretch clear. Matthews, Patterson at the front, Birdwhistell, Stapleton's there, and we're just starting to see the pace being turned on. Tim, Birdwhistell doing the damage. Let's see who can go with him.
Still 8 of them there. Kilometre to go. De Castella 3K. Remarkable that with so many up there in serious contention, there's been so little change at the top. And Birdwhistell leads them into the home straight again. Wilson there, Stapleton, Patterson, Matthews, and moving up into 6th position is James Hansen of Tasmania in the white top. 2 laps to go, half a dozen at least with a chance of winning this.
And Hansen has been the mover from 10th place 2 laps ago. He's worked his way into this top 6, and they've strung them right out. Declan Wilson, the Victorian, that's made the move down the back straight. Birdwhistell is content to tack in. Stapleton, Patterson, and there is the man in question, James Hansen. Luke Matthews just starting to feel the strain as the pace builds. The intensity increases in this De Castella 3,000 metres. The questions are starting to be asked at the front end of the field. Declan Wilson starting to do the damage, burning off his rivals. We've lost one in Matthews. Patterson and Hansen hanging tenuously in that group of 5. Stapleton and Birdwhistell look comfortable as they start to move up to the shoulder and into the ascendancy. It's Birdwhistell, Patterson going with them. It's Birdwhistell at the bell, Stapleton, Wilson and Patterson. Hansen just starting to drop back. We've got one final lap in the De Castella 3,000 metres for 2012. Jacob Birdwhistell into the back straight. He'll lead them in. Stapleton and Patterson starting to gain momentum, Tim, but it's Jacob Birdwhistell 300 metres from home.
He's been in front for most of the way, and he's commanding the race at the moment. A bit over 200 to go. Patterson running into 2nd. Wilson still thereabouts is 3rd, and it looks as though they might have it between them. It is Birdwhistell now in the last 200. Patterson throws out the challenge. Patterson, Birdwhistell and Wilson are 1, 2, 3, but not necessarily in that order. Here comes Wilson for another go. Birdwhistell digging in for one more throw of the dice, but it's Wilson, Patterson and Birdwhistell, and it is going to be Declan Wilson in the De Castella 3,000 metres who takes the honours ahead of Zach Patterson and Jacob Birdwhistell.
8:07.94. That will be a personal best for the Box Hill athlete. What a sprint finish it was from Patterson. Came from a long way back. Birdwhistell so gallant from the front of the field. Just didn't have the strength over the closing stages. Stapleton from New South Wales was right there till the turn as well. That's why this is the preeminent distance race for under 20 men in the country. The talent we've seen on display is the future of Australian athletics. And Declan Wilson will lead the charge into the next generation. The Box Hill athlete, impressive. He's the victor, and he'll take out the De Castella 3,000 metres in 2012.